incorporates an element of drama. So we think of capoeira as sort of theater as well. There's drama, there's a story, and there's sort of drama being acted out within the context of this martial art dance. But if we have a capoeirista here, or a mestre, a leader of a capoeira group, they might argue that actually capoeira is really none of those things. It's not a martial art, it's not a dance, it's not a music, it's not a drama, it's a worldview. It's a philosophy. The capoeira is, in this sense, we might even sort of compare it more closely to a religion or religious practice. That it shapes a worldview for our community, how they see the world, their cosmological understanding, and their place in the world. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. So it's simultaneously described dance, musical performance, drama, and all of that sort of having a philosophy of life behind it. It can be just as a tradition, as a sport, or an art. Capoeira is an example of the dança de roda in the sense that the performance of capoeira takes place within the context of a circle. The players, or the fighters, or the dancers, however you want to define them, the players form a circle, in the center of which two individuals interact in the martial art dance. Those in the circle, like samba de roda, sing, clap, play musical instruments that accompany the performance. Capoeira circles, in many traditions, have been dominated by men. In some cases, are exclusively women, and in more recent decades have been mixed gender. And these capoeira circles are led by a master, who is the bearer and the guardian of knowledge and the tradition, not just the performance of what's happening, but the philosophy and the worldview that shapes what's going on. So this capoeira circle is not just a stage or a place for a performance, but it's a place for acting out, learning, and embodying, most importantly, embodying knowledge and tradition of this philosophy and worldview, as taught by the master. So let's just talk about sort of musical elements here. As a sort of musical performance, capoeira movements are supported by an orchestra, or also in some contexts known as a bateria. So orchestra with extra collection musical instruments, also known as bateria or band. You think about battery in a military context, the battery with heavy guns, right? The battery are the cannons, right? The rocket launchers, right? That's the battery, the heavy guns. And so, in this sense, the orchestra, we might think of a play akin to the drum line of a marching band, right? They're the stuff that sort of really invokes the sense of the battle of what's going on in a sort of percussive role. This orchestra primarily centers around the bear bell. We see in the upper left-hand corner, a musical bow, a bent wood stick with a metal string. There's a small board that's used to go against the belly of the player, right? That can change the timbre, whether that board is sort of opened or closed as it goes through the body of the performer, right? So in this sense, the body is shaping the sound, not just by playing the instrument, but how the instrument interacts with the body. So that board is a resonator that changes the tone. The string is struck by a stick. You see a small stick there, and then you see a small, like a washer. A disc, might be a metal disc, it might be a stone, it might be a coin of some sort that's used to press up against the string that shortens or lengthens the string, thus changing the pitch between two pitches. You get two primary pitches a lower pitch and a higher pitch based on the higher pitch when you press this to keep the string. And then what you kind of see there, it's a little hard to see in the picture, but it's a small rattle, little basket woven rattle that is looped onto the pinky finger of the hand with the stick that gives a shaking sound, a shaker that accompanies the playing of the piano. In most cases, traditionally, there'll be three barrel players in a capoeira setting, playing at three different pitch levels. We'll hear that talk about in a second. The barrel will be accompanied by pandeiro, which is the tambourine that you see here, so tambourine-like instrument, pandeiro, as well as abaki, the large barrel drum, kind of like a conga drum. And other percussive instruments, including scrapers. We saw this in the Samba Jambola video in class on Tuesday. A scraper could be as simple as a plate with a fork, or it might be some other type of metal or wooden scraper. And a go-go, you don't know all those instruments. So a go-go, so heko is the scraper here, a go-go is the double bell, right? Two bells. So that since the two bells are the low pitch and high pitch, also reflecting the two pitches of the jam bell. Place where my video is not working. So unfortunately, I don't have a great video here. I had a great video lined up, but it's not working. So we'll talk a little about musical structure. We'll hear this. In a typical capoeira performance, and I should say typical, we're looking at a particular style of capoeira known as capoeira Angola. There are various traditions of capoeira, right? So it's like saying, it's put in the religious context, right? Let's say Christianity, when we're looking at, like, I don't know, how Methodist service goes, which might be very different, right, in an Anglican service or a Catholic service or Seventh-day Adventist service or whatever. Right? So you have a whole variety. But within a specific tradition of capoeira Angola, there's a three-part musical structure. And so the musical example that you have in the book is sort of broken into these three parts. The first is the Ladaina. The Ladaina is a narrative song. We've talked about narrative songs, different types of narrative songs, like corridos before. Actually, the term corrido is going to come back in a second. But a narrative song, you're telling a story. In this opening part of a capoeira performance, the master, the mestre, sings a narrative song. The specific example that you have here is a song called translated to King Zumbi of Palmares, right? That's the English translation. In this performance, in this song, in this narrative song, he tells the story of King Zumbi. King Zumbi was a 17th century Afro-Brazilian leader of Palmares. Palmares was a historically factual, but also very much mythologized within capoeira and Afro-Brazilian culture today. It was what's the word for it? A town, a colony, I guess is the best way to put it. The colony of free blacks in the 17th century in Brazil, primarily occupied by escaped, enslaved Afro-Brazilians, right? Escaped slavery, find their way to Palmares, where they could live in an emancipated colony, a place where dominated by black Brazilians outside of the structures of slavery. So Zumbi was the leader of this colony, and so he is an important historical figure in Brazil. and particularly among Brazilians today that identify primarily as Afro-Brazilians. Um, and so this song tells the story of King Zumbi. And it talks about dates. It talks about the 20th of November in 16, I don't remember, what's that date now? Yeah, in the 17th century, on the 20th of November, which is the day that King Zumbi was executed by white colonial Portuguese Brazilians for his role in helping other Afro-Brazilians escape slavery. This day of November 20th, still today in Brazil, is often celebrated by many Afro-Brazilians, even though May 13th is the official date of the emancipation of enslaved Brazilians. To put this a little bit in context, Brazil, but think about the impact of slavery. In the United States, was now the Union, right? But at the time, largely British colonies, but later on the United States. There's an estimated 450, maybe 500,000 Africans were forcibly brought to what's now the United States as slaves from the 17th, 18th, and 19th centuries, right? For about 250-year period. In Brazil, the process of importing people from the African continent to what is now Brazil, or was then Portuguese colonies, began almost 100 years earlier than the United States. And it extended much longer than the United States. So you have like 350, nearly 400 years of practice of enslaved people from the African continent. Not only that, but the numbers are estimated to be somewhere between 4.5 to 8 million individuals, right? So just kind of give a sense of the impact of the practice of slavery and the slave trade had in Brazil. We talk about a total number of people that is somewhere between 10 to 20 times as many enslaved peoples forcibly brought to Brazil than the United States, right? So the impact is very significant. Yeah, despite that, Brazil was the last country in the Western Hemisphere to outlaw slavery in 1888. Right, roughly 25 years, 20 to 25 years after the United States. Right, so it wasn't about 1888. That puts out a whole other generation beyond the United States. So, for many Brazilians today, the remembrance of King Zumbi and Palmares and the history of the struggle for emancipation among Afro-Brazilians in Capoeira is part of telling that story, telling that drama. That is, the dance, the idea of capoeira as a martial art is significant because it reenacts a history of preparing for and potentially even engaging in physical combat as a way to fight oppression, fight enslavement, right, and be prepared to protect one's life and the life of a community set on the practice of slavery in Brazil. Okay, so I can't stop the point. So what you heard there at the beginning, right? You hear the first bear mouth, right? And you hear that bear mouth the two pitches, bum, 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 one pitch, bum, bum, right? The two pitches there together with the shaker. After that introduction, bum, 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 and then you hear the next drum bell come in. And then you hear the third drum bell come in. So these three different instruments, all drum bells at different pitch levels, are an important part of that sound. Lower pitch one, the higher pitch one. Now, I'm talking, drum So this is the master, the master, the leader of the capoeira group, singing the song of Zumbi Palmares, this narrative of that history that I just told. So that's the first section. That Ladaina is followed by what's called a chula. What changes here is there's an incorporation of calm response. At this point, the dancers or the players, those two that go in the middle of the circle to enact out the martial arts dance performance, have sort of warmed up, and the members in the circle start to sing in a call and response fashion. So rather than a narrative story, here we get the shift to call and response. The text we're using here is "Let's go, comrade." The focus being, we talked on Tuesday about the idea of the circle, an important place of creating a sense of inclusion, a sense of participation. And so that sense of here reciting text, "Let's go, comrade," those in the circle are encouraging the players in the center, right, in their martial art performance. And this is, like I said, done through a call and response, call between the master, and the rest of the people in the circle. Alright, so now we're going to go into the third part here. With the third part, what we get is what's known as the corrido, right? Not to be confused with the Mexican-American corrido, the narrative song. With this corrido, we continue a calm response. The text changes here. They're starting, we talked about this religious orientation here. There's chanting to a saint, Santa Barbara here. Within Afro-Brazilian society is a long tradition of combining Catholic saints with African-derived deities. And so they're singing here in Santa Barbara in this sort of sense of giving them strength and power as they continue in their martial art performance. And you'll have, it's very slight in this particular recording, but then they increase tempo and speeding up that tempo. Um, Can you hear the tempo increasing just a little bit? It's pretty slow, but it slowly gets faster and faster. Okay, because I'm having some trouble with technology here. I couldn't pull up the video is not showing here, but let me see if I can quickly find. This is more dialogue than it is text or than it is music. You can hear. Right. You can see here right in front the three. So I go ahead just a little bit, you can see just, the three bearing valves there, right? You see the Akbaki over here, you see Pandero. Here, the circle is sitting down, it's less common than standing up. But capoeira, like I said, there's different styles, and this is often what happens when it's shifted more to an indoor sports type event where it's less about the participatory culture of everyone joining in than it is about the you have musicians and you have these separate martial artists sitting on the side. I'll fast forward a little bit. So there you see some type of movement, right? So it's definitely a martial arts type movement. It's definitely a battle between two people that aren't actually knocking each other in most styles of capoeira. It does have some context, but most aren't knocking each other out, right? They're actually not even touching each other. So that's the dance part of sort of doing martial art, but in sort of choreography, but all 90 bodies with each other there. So what's significant about this? Well, we talked about some aspects. But one is capoeira, like dancing Jehovah, other dancing Jehovah, some Jehovah, engages a participatory community. As I said on Tuesday, this idea of the circle geometrically suggests a lack of hierarchy, right? Unlike a triangle where we might think about what's at the top, what's at the base, the foundation, or having, who's in the front, who's in the back. A circle sort of wipes out away this hierarchy, inviting this participation. It creates a stage, if you will, in the center that's not about a performance for some outside audience, but that's about a performance for and with and by the community. That sense of community and collaboration that emerges out of this participatory performance really emphasizes this idea of liberation. Capoeira is not just entertainment, it's not just music and dance, it's not just martial art, but it is embedded in a history of seeking liberation for Afro-Brazilians and preparing for that process of liberation. Finally, and I hope that little brief clip gave you the sense, it embodies reciprocity. And I'm using the word embody here specifically because we talked a little about embodiment, right? If dance is about embodiment, taking sounds into your body and acting those sounds back out through your body. Capoeira is not just about embodying music. It's about embodying the history of Afro-Brazilians. It's about embodying the practice of liberation. It's about embodying anti-slavery, right? Or anti-racism. It's about embodying reciprocity. In other words, as you saw in that brief clip, where there's this sort of give and take between the players, right? As they move against and with one another, there's a give and take. I take, then you take. I back up, you back up. Musically, this is reflected in the calm response. There's a give and take, a reciprocity. You sing your part, I respond with my part. It's reflected in the three parts of the berimbau, right? This reciprocity of giving and taking. That reciprocity is also acting as one who performs in the circle comes back out of the circle, and others move back into the circle. There's a give and take between the different members of the community as they take their space and their time in the circle, taking space at times and giving space at times for others. One last example here I'm going to show you. In more contemporary times, capoeira doesn't only exist strictly within historical capoeira spaces, but has been blended within other Afro-Brazilian practices like samba and samba de roda. So this is an example for this video I'm going to show here. This is, I don't know, from within the last decade. You can see here we're in an urban setting, right? In a park, an urban setting. And what you're going to have is you have what you'll see is a blend between capoeira. You'll see capoeira movements. Primarily, what you're going to see is samba dances. And so between samba and the traditional samba de roda style, with the circle, someone, and in this case, those two people come into the circle together, dancing the samba, typically male and female, right? But also you'll see the integration of capoeira or martial arts movement. Yeah. So you have this sort of blended genre of, of, of capoeira together with samba. One historian or scholar of capoeira described capoeira, we just, before I play this, just going back to this idea of embodiment for a second, describes capoeira as hearing with your hands, feet, and body. That is, the capoeirista, the dancer, is moving in response to and in conjunction with the music. Right? And so they're hearing that music with their hands, their feet, and their body. What I think is interesting about that is I was reflecting on an earlier video that we had way early in the semester, where we talked about the American I'm going to drop the name, composer. American composer who helped build the Beat Listening Institute. If you remember this, it's way back, like second or third semester. We had a short video clip which is the interview at the Whitney Museum of Art by a deaf person who was interviewing her. And she talked about her compositions in the 1970s. And one of her compositions she talked about, she said, I wrote these compositions that like walk with your bare feet as softly as you can until the bottoms of your feet become ears. Right? This was her composition. It's kind of like, okay, that's some like artsy, whatever, weird stuff, right? But that's exactly how historians and scholars often talk about capoeira. It's hearing with the hands,